What's up, world? Let me tell you about this beard growth oil I got from 12 tribes on Earth. 8 ounces of oily goodness with a nozzle that prevents sprays and spills, and soft ingredients that make it perfect addition to anyone's morning routine. From coconut to castor, all these oils are hand chosen. After using this herbal blend, the biggest thing I noticed is how soft, how strong my hair was, and how good I feel. Pick up your bottle today and make your beard the star of the show.
Okay, y'all. Shalom, family. I'm so glad we're all here once again for this live. So, we're going to talk about Nolan Wells, his mother. Now, just before the funeral, she received hate mail. Somebody mailed her a letter, and she pretty much responded, letting them know that she's not going back down. She's just doing what any normal parent would do, inquire about what happened to their child. And it was nothing but those white supremacists down there in Mississippi. It's so silly. So she just goes over what happened after she received the hate mail, and how she reacted. And it just goes to show you, I never heard of any white child being unalive and somebody sending hate mail to the family. I mean, come on. That's something we definitely don't do. That is not our culture, and we don't do that. But on the other hand, these folks, they don't have no regard for anybody's life but theirs. So they would gladly do it. I think it's evil. And, I hope they put out the autopsy results soon, because I know a lot of people are anticipating what really happened or what their findings are. But I think what's happening, y'all, the state of Mississippi is afraid to put theirs out first because they know it's going to be different from the private autopsy. It's not going to match. See, they're going to do what's in the best interest of those 3 white children that was on the boat. That's what they're concerned about. They have no concern whatsoever about Nolan. But the private autopsy will be completely different. And like I told y'all last week, I'm glad the family got the autopsy done outside of Mississippi, because you can see it is a lot of corrupt things going on in Mississippi. Always been that way. And as you can see, things ain't changed that damn much in Mississippi, that's for sure. So I think that was a smart move on their part. So we shall see. Yeah, well, all I have to say is I have a feeling the private one is going to reveal a lot more than the one that was done in Mississippi. That's what I really truly feel is going to happen. Thank you, James Mitchell, for the 440 gems. I deeply appreciate it. Please give me 1 second so I can get this. Hold on. Here we go. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Everything is so heavy. Everything is so heavy. Just been going through the motions. You know, I'm a healthcare provider, so I talk about grief a lot. And now to be on the other side of this is, it's a lot. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and that was hard. This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable.
The family of Nolan Wells, they're preparing to lay their 18-year-old son to rest. Wells was found dead on July 6th in the waters off Mississippi's Horn Island, where he'd been celebrating the 4th of July holiday with friends. Now, 2 weeks later, his family is finalizing funeral plans.
There were hundreds of people out there. You've seen the video and the photographs. How somebody did not see him is pretty shocking to me, especially if he left one group that knows him to go with another group that clearly knows him. I don't understand how he got separated from everybody that he knows. It is early. They are actively still talking to people. They are gathering, photographic evidence and video evidence from people that were there. Even if I did not know him, if I'm just taking a video of the whole crowd, I could have captured him.
Someone mailed Christine Wonsley a photograph, not a card, not flowers, a photograph of her standing at a press conference with her husband, grieving her 18-year-old son, with arrows drawn from Reverend Al Sharpton and attorney Ben Crump's eyes toward her face and dollar signs sketched in beside them. No return address. Just an accusation mailed directly to a mother's home, implying she's profiting off her own son's death. Her response posted publicly, "Whoever sent this to my home, may the good Lord have mercy on your soul." Then 4 words that have already been shared thousands of times. "Please go touch grass." Tomorrow, Christine buries that son. Reverend Sharpton will deliver the eulogy. Hundreds are expected to fill Center Pointe Church in Ocean Springs. That's not the only development since we last covered this case. New GPS data has surfaced, showing a 30-minute gap between the moment Nolan's group reported their boat was taking on water and the moment they actually left the island without him. A crime scene investigator who's worked cases involving Tupac Shakur and the Zodiac Killer has gone on national television to say, in her own words, that it's pretty shocking. Nobody in a crowd of hundreds saw what happened to him. And Nolan's own friend has pushed back publicly, saying this case is being spun into a narrative that isn't there. This is Motive X, and this is everything that's happened since our last update. Starting with the hate mail a grieving mother shouldn't have had to open the day before her son's funeral. Subscribe before you go. Let's get into it. Almost 2 weeks after Nolan's body was found, someone had sent an anonymous piece of mail directly to her home. Inside was a printed photograph, the same widely circulated image of Christine and her husband Elmore at a press conference with Reverend Al Sharpton and Ben Crump standing behind them, hands on their shoulders in a gesture of support. Whoever sent it had drawn arrows from Sharpton and Crump's eyes toward Christine's face, and next to those arrows, multiple dollar signs, a crude, wordless accusation that the grief on display in that photo was somehow manufactured, that a mother standing next to her advocates was really just a woman cashing in. Christine didn't stay silent about it. "Whoever sent this to my home, may the good Lord have mercy on your soul," she wrote alongside a photo of the hate mail itself. Bold enough to send this crap, but not bold enough to list your return address. She went further.
That was a coward ass move. Whoever you are sending that letter, not nice letter to Christine, Nolan Wells' mother, why would you do that? Huh? I know you wear your shoes on the wrong foot. And I can tell you wear your clothes backwards. And I know there's something that's ailing you, not wrong with you. Okay? Ailing you is a different level. Let me just say this. This woman done lost her child. And now y'all want to send letters. I knew it was going to come to this. I knew it was going to come to this. I felt it in my spirit that it was going to move. You need to move. I said when let me tell you something. You know why you need to move, Christine? You and your husband, Elmer, I won't say his name wrong, allegedly. I got to say alleged, because see, they don't like the shit right now that we're saying. So allegedly, I'm going to tell you, this is my opinion, why you need to move. They was not expecting you. They wanted you to accept that there was no foul play when this first happened. They wasn't expecting Attorney Benjamin Crump and his staff and Al Sharpton and Spike Lee and so many others, Tyler Perry and the young man Coburn. I said his name wrong, damn it, forgive me. The support that you have, baby, pack your bags and get the hell up out of Mississippi. I'm sorry. I think it's the best thing for you to do. Don't you leave that baby there by herself. Don't leave your child there, baby. Don't. I'm telling you, get up out of there. Get up out of there. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I don't.
What is wrong with America? That's a rhetorical question. America has always suffered from the same problem, and that's hatred, racism, discrimination, and just evil. Nolan Wells' parents have been receiving hate mail because they want to know what happened to their son, just like any parent would want to know what happened to their child if they died tragically, whether or not it was accidental or it was criminal. But because you have this young lady and young man who want to know what happened to their son, and they were hanging out with a bunch of white kids, all of a sudden you get hate mail. And people want to know why we make everything a racial issue. It has to be a racial issue that you would have a problem with a mother seeking answers for the death of her child, or seeking justice if there was some criminal activity involved. Every parent that's worth anything would want to know exactly what happened to their deceased child, their 18-year-old deceased child. And if you have a problem with a mother and father seeking answers for their dead child, then you are a serious cancer to this society. Like my boy Willie D would say, your mama should be ashamed and your daddy should have pulled out. I'm your boy Todd A. Smith with RegalMag.com, and I'm the host of the Regal Roundtable Talk Show on the CGM TV app. Holla.
So Nolan's mom, Christine, did let us know that she received very hateful mail in the actual mail. Like somebody physically took the time out of their day to take it to the post office and mail it out to them. Real bottom of the barrel. Clearly, what the heck? Why are people so obsessed with being hateful to the point that they will go out of their way to mail hateful mail to this family in the midst of asking for questions, which every person has the right to ask about their child who is no longer here, asking for questions, trying to seek clarity? Why would that be problematic? Why? It won't be answered. Of course, like she said, they didn't even provide a return address so that she could address them directly and let them know directly. Play with somebody else, okay? Play with somebody else. How about you play with yourself instead of taking the time to be hateful enough to the point that you would send that to this family, okay? Do better. Y'all don't understand that concept, but still, do better. It's bottom of the barrel that you have that much hate in your heart for somebody who's done nothing to you. Not a thing. She has done nothing to you. And for y'all to take the time to mail that to her, it says a lie. People hate you for breathing, clearly. That's clearly what that is. That's what that's given. That it's a problem she's still breathing. That you have with her still being here, fighting for answers, which is all she is doing, is wanting to get clarity on what happened to her son and it making simple sense of what happened to him. She's not asking for anything that she is not owed as an American. Yeah, she's not asking for nothing out of this world crazy. Now, she did also announce that the funeral is private. She tried to hint around that, I believe, and that is why I definitely make the statement. If you don't know them, if you've never met Nolan, don't go to this doggone funeral. It is a private event. They are taking the time to make sure that if you are invested in this situation, that you have access by, the media being there. But for anybody to physically show up to this funeral that does not know that young man, weird. Why would you want to show up to somebody's funeral that you don't know anything about and have no connection to just to be in the building? Don't create additional problems for this family, okay? They're already dealing with a lot. And so if that is your mind state that you have to be told that, you need to work on your social skills, okay? Because you shouldn't have to be told, don't show up to a funeral to somebody you do not know just to be in the building, okay? It shouldn't have to be said. And for it have to be made directly does indicate that people were making it seem like they was going to be taking the time out of their day to go to a funeral for a young man they never met. She should not have had to have stated that, but she did go ahead and make sure that it was very directly known. It is a private funeral for people that actually knew him when he had life in him, because they're going to be celebrating the life he had that is no longer here. if you didn't get to live life with him, it's nothing for you to celebrate. Okay, so don't be in the building. Don't be around the building. Let them breathe and say their final goodbyes as they are seeking closure for the life of Nolan Xavier Wells. I am Keisha. The channel name is Court with Keisha.
Nolan Wells was found 2 weeks ago. His family is still searching for answers. And unfortunately, a lot of the media coverage has gone away about this case, but we need to keep Nolan Wells in this story front and center, because now we're learning that Nolan Wells' mother, his family, has been receiving hate mail in the days leading up to his funeral. Nolan Wells, if you don't know, is the 18-year-old teenager who went missing during 4th of July weekend and was found dead days later in Mississippi. He had his whole life ahead of him. He was about to turn 19 years old, was about to play football, was a really, really good kid. Benjamin Crump, the lawyer for the family, says the results of the independent autopsy will be turned over ultimately to a grand jury, and they're actively conducting an independent investigation into Nolan's death. Nolan's funeral is set for this week. His family is receiving horrific, horrific hate mail, and the answers that they're searching for still seem far away. Nolan's memory should be remembered, and the story should not just be swept away. I'll have more updates for you soon. Follow for more.
Did y'all see the hate mail that Nolan Wells' family received? It's an image of her crying at one of their press conferences, and they got $ with arrows from the attorney's eyes, pretty much insinuating that when they see her, they see $, like it's all about the money. And her response to that was, "Whoever sent this to my home, may the good Lord have mercy on your soul. Bold enough to send this crap, but not bold enough to list your return address. This is America, where a grieving mother and father have to deal with this type of behavior because we asked a simple question of what happened to our son and accepted all the help we could get to find answers. Please go touch some grass." What I heard was, "Nigga, you's a bitch. You over here sending some motherfucking hate mail to my house, but you ain't want to leave the return address. Why you ain't leave the return address? Because we'd be happy to come visit, motherfucker. We'd be happy to stop by so we could talk about this motherfucking letter that you want to send to me and my motherfucking family who's trying to grieve right now. Bitch, stop playing with me and my family." Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all motherfuckers? Why the fuck would y'all send her some shit like this? Trying to insinuate that they just in it for the money. When y'all know good and goddamn well, if she was white, y'all wouldn't be doing none of that shit. Y'all would be on her motherfucking GoFundMe, sending her some motherfucking money. But since it's a black family and people of color, y'all want to try to say, oh, they just care about the money. Fuck touching some grass. I'm about to have my foot up your ass. You in Denver? Yeah, they gonna figure out where the fuck you at. They gonna find you. Your ass gonna be exposed. You're gonna lose your job. You're gonna lose everything you work for because you want to do some dumb shit and send a grieving family some bullshit talking about they just want money. Bitch, their son just died and nobody has answers to tell them how. So how are they just in it for the money? You need money to find answers. Do y'all not understand how investigations work? Especially private investigations. And just so you know, they're going to find out who your dumb ass is because they tracking them numbers that was on the envelope. They're going to track it back to where it was sent from, and then they're going to roll them cameras back. And because motherfuckers really want to spend their time to figure out what type of piece of shit would send a grieving family some bullshit like this. So they're going to figure out who the fuck you is, and then you're going to be exposed.
People are now sending hate mail to Nolan Wells' mother. As you can see by this picture, it's her crying at a news conference with Sharpton and Ben Crump beside her, and they have like these little things coming from the eyes. This is crazy and insane. Let this lady grieve. At the end of the day, she's trying to find justice for her child. And that is suspicious. So if I was her, I'll be in a press too trying to get information for my child and justice for him. At the end of the day, we don't know what transpired. We're still waiting on the autopsy reports to come made. If y'all want to send somebody an email, how about y'all write y'all address on the letter and send it back to yourself? And hopefully this lady have security or some type of person protecting her, because you never know. People are so weird, they might try to attack her. In Mississippi, we know that Mississippi is known for racism. At the end of the day, leave this lady alone. And she can also say, if y'all thinking about coming to the funeral to see a celebrity, stay home. This is sad. Justice for Nolan Wells, and let this lady grieve in peace.
I agree. You know, this is a tough time for them. Nobody expects their 18-year-old to leave the house and never, ever come back. And then you find out they were unalive, but all the other people he was out with all went home. Yeah, they have the right to do whatever they need to do to get answers about what happened to him. And not to mention the fact these folks that were on the boat with him, those white teens that were on the boat with him, don't give a crap about him. Because if they really did, they would be more than happy to tell the family and the authorities the truth about what happened. But the fact that they lawyered up and the parents lawyered up and they scrubbed the social media, that was all the proof you need to show they never cared about Nolan at all. They didn't care. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to thank James Mitchell for the 440 gems and Lisa Gibson for the 30 gems. I deeply appreciate your support for my channel. Thank you so much. So, y'all, we're going to talk about tomorrow morning Argentinian fans from Argentina that came to the World Cup, and they were using racial epithets and being complete racists at the World Cup. And then I'm going to proceed to show you what a piece of dump Argentina really is. Argentina is a dump. They just have the nice area, and then the rest of it is pretty much one big old dump. It's ran down, dirt roads, shacks, these makeshift homes stacked on top of each other. They live like animals. So it is nothing new to know. It seems like the crappier the place, the more arrogant the people are. So we will talk about that, and you'll see their conduct. And they were being racist towards I Show Speed. He was there at the World Cup. And of course, the Argentina fans spotted him and proceeded to be big racist. And there's also a clip of a Argentinian man. He used a racial slur against an officer in Atlanta. And that man almost damn near beat the brakes off his ass. But yeah, the country that's not supposed to have any black citizens. Yeah, that's how they act. Now that I see it, I don't care if I never see another living soul from Argentina for the rest of my life. Seriously, y'all are just as racist as everyone else from South America. And I think some of y'all are even worse. So I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your support, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Shalom, family.